Did she just leak her smoking gun to the internet?
I literally brought the movie with me on the airplane. Like I have like a folder with like a disc, like a hard drive.
About how she likes to come in essentially like a Trojan horse and take over a project. And even though she pretends like she's just going to be an actress at first, no, that's not good enough for her.
Why wouldn't she be vocal about that stuff? Why wouldn't she have complained to SAG, or any of these actors complain to SAG? And if these are real, why wouldn't, why would Sony have just held on to them and not released them and actually done something about it?
Justin Baldoni is not backing down. He's standing his ground, making sure Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds don't get away with what they tried to do. No amount of money, fake apologies, or Hollywood connections can undo the damage they caused. And Justin is making sure of that. This case isn't just another Hollywood scandal, it's a full-blown war. And guess what? It only took 90 minutes in court for the so-called golden couple's empire to start crumbling. Don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on the facts. Imagine walking into a courtroom thinking you're in control, only to get completely steamrolled before lunchtime. Blake thought she could charm her way out of this mess with a PR stunt and a well-timed hair flip, but she was dead wrong. Justin is out for blood, no secret settlements, no backroom deals, no staged apologies. He's dragging this lawsuit into the public eye, ensuring that every shady move Blake and Ryan made is exposed for the world to see. This isn't just about money, it's about justice. And at stake? A massive $400 million lawsuit against Blake and her equally problematic husband. For years, Blake Lively has carefully curated a public image of grace and charm, but those who worked closely with her knew the truth. She wasn't just high maintenance, she was a full-blown diva. Now the stories of her behavior on and off set are finally coming to light. A bully, a manipulator, someone who steamrolls projects to get her way. And it turns out, her husband Ryan Reynolds is just as bad, if not worse. Ryan has built his entire career on being the funny, relatable guy. But behind the scenes, he's been playing a much darker game. Reports have surfaced that he used his Hollywood power to blackball Justin Baldoni, ensuring that his career would suffer. He didn't just defend his wife, he actively strong-armed studios, pressured executives, and made sure that Justin wouldn't get opportunities in the industry. He saw Justin as a threat to Blake's career, and he did everything in his power to erase him. And now, it's all coming back to haunt them. This lawsuit isn't going away anytime soon. A trial date has officially been set for March 2026, meaning that for 2 full years, every detail of this case is going to play out in public. The media won't stop covering it, the internet won't stop talking about it, and Hollywood won't be able to ignore it. Blake and Ryan thought they could control the narrative, but they're quickly realizing that they've lost control entirely. Ryan even went so far as to draft a statement for Justin to release, essentially demanding that he lie to protect Blake's reputation. But Justin isn't playing their game. He refuses to be intimidated, and he refuses to let the truth get buried. The best part? Hollywood isn't coming to Blake's rescue. She was already struggling to maintain relevance before this lawsuit, but now, her reputation is in freefall. Studios aren't fighting to cast her. Directors aren't jumping to work with her. And audiences? They're starting to see through the fake Hollywood act she's been selling for years. Her last major film, The Rhythm Section, was one of the biggest box office disasters in recent history, losing over $45 million. It proved what industry insiders had already known for a long time. Blake Lively isn't a box office draw. She's not a Hollywood powerhouse. And now, with this lawsuit hanging over her, her career is effectively over. But the fallout doesn't stop there. Blake's recent attempts at expanding her empire, her alcohol brand, her hair care line, have all flopped. The hypocrisy of her launching a cocktail brand after years of branding herself as a non-drinker was not lost on the public. People immediately saw it for what it was, a cash grab, and the backlash was swift. Then there's her hair care brand, which is reportedly getting pulled from Target shelves due to low sales and public boycotts. Everything Blake has built is crumbling. And she thought she could counter the bad press by suing Justin Baldoni for $250 million, trying to flip the script and paint herself as the victim. But that desperate move is backfiring spectacularly. Hollywood isn't buying it. No one is rushing to her defense. The more she pushes the victim narrative, the more people see through the lies. She forced her way into It Ends With Us, a film she had no business leading. And when Justin Baldoni refused to let her take full control, she retaliated by fabricating harassment claims to destroy his career. That's where Ryan Reynolds comes in. Ryan wasn't just supporting his wife, he was actively orchestrating a career hit job against Baldoni. The charming, sarcastic Deadpool act, it's just a facade. Behind the scenes, Ryan was allegedly pressuring studios, blacklisting Justin, and ensuring he had no way forward in the industry. But what they didn't expect was for Justin to fight back. Unlike Blake and Ryan, Justin has nothing to hide. He has receipts, text messages, emails, and video evidence that completely unravel their carefully constructed lies. Every single attempt to silence him has failed. And now, Ryan and Blake are the ones scrambling. The worst part for Ryan? His Deadpool 3 PR nightmare. Ryan, in his arrogance, thought it would be funny to mock Baldoni in the film, but Disney isn't laughing. The studio is furious about how this lawsuit is dragging Ryan's name into controversy, and reports suggest they're considering cutting his scenes if the scandal keeps growing. Imagine being so petty, so obsessed with destroying someone, that you risk your biggest franchise just to take cheap shots at them. Ryan really thought he could bully Baldoni out of Hollywood. Instead, he's the one at risk of being exiled. And brands? They're already pulling away from him and Blake. The public is not on their side, their business ventures are flopping, their reputations are ruined, and Justin Baldoni, he's winning. Because while Blake and Ryan are fighting to hold on to their dwindling Hollywood credibility, Justin stood his ground, refused to be silenced, and exposed two of Hollywood's most manipulative stars. And this is only the beginning. Stay tuned, because this Hollywood disaster is just getting started. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds spent years carefully cultivating their image as Hollywood's golden couple. Relatable, charming, powerful, and most importantly, untouchable. But now, their entire empire is collapsing, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. Justin Baldoni has made sure of that. After Blake and Ryan tried to manipulate, sabotage, and blacklist him, Baldoni did the one thing they never expected. He fought back. No NDAs, no settlements, no quiet resolution. He wants the world to see exactly what happened, and now every dirty little secret Blake and Ryan tried to bury is coming to the surface. And the fallout is devastating. This isn't just a legal battle anymore, it's a career apocalypse for Blake and Ryan. Blake, who has spent years branding herself as a feminist icon, is being exposed as a hypocrite. The woman who claims to support women's empowerment, she worked with Harvey Weinstein's PR team, the same Blake Lively who championed the #MeToo movement. She willingly starred in a Woody Allen film, long after he was accused of horrific crimes. And now, her latest scheme, faking harassment claims against Baldoni, has completely backfired. Justin never harassed Blake. What actually happened? Blake forced her way into It Ends With Us, a film she was never meant to star in. She demanded creative control, insisting on rewriting scripts, changing production schedules, and ultimately trying to take over the entire movie. When Baldoni, who was both the director and producer, refused to let her hijack the project, she turned against him. Her solution? Destroy his career. She weaponized the Me Too movement for her own gain, fabricating claims against Baldoni to paint herself as a victim while stealing control of the film. And when that didn't work, Ryan Reynolds stepped in to finish the job. Ryan Reynolds, the Hollywood puppet master. For years, Ryan has played the role of the funny, sarcastic, nice guy. But behind the scenes, he's a Hollywood manipulator, controlling everything in his orbit. And this time, his target was Justin Baldoni's career. Ryan didn't just support Blake, he allegedly used his influence to blacklist Baldoni in Hollywood. Reports confirm that Ryan was meeting with executives, pressuring them to drop Justin from projects, and making sure he had no way forward in the industry. But here's where things take an even darker turn. Ryan reportedly demanded that Justin change the production schedule of It Ends With Us to accommodate Blake. When Justin refused, Ryan escalated. Sources claim Ryan orchestrated a full-blown smear campaign, using the media, his PR team, and even Hollywood executives to make sure Justin Baldoni was erased. Ryan and Blake thought they could get away with it, but they didn't count on one thing. Justin had receipts, emails, text messages, video evidence, all of it proving that Blake and Ryan weren't victims. They were the aggressors. And now, as the truth comes out, their Hollywood credibility is crumbling. Disney is furious. Ryan, in his arrogance, thought it would be funny to mock Justin Baldoni in Deadpool 3. But Disney isn't laughing. Reports suggest that Disney is reevaluating Ryan's future as Deadpool. And if this lawsuit continues to grow, they might even cut his scenes from the film. Think about that. Ryan Reynolds risked his biggest franchise just to take cheap shots at Baldoni. And now, he's the one facing career destruction. Meanwhile, Blake's PR nightmares keep piling up. Her alcohol brand, a blatant cash grab from someone who pretended to be a non-drinker for years, has been met with immediate backlash. The hypocrisy was too obvious to ignore. Then, there's her failing hair care brand, which is reportedly being pulled from Target shelves due to plummeting sales. Blake Lively spent years trying to convince the world she was a Hollywood powerhouse. But now, she's being exposed for what she really is: a fraud. And the best part? Justin Baldoni doesn't have to worry about money. Because while Blake and Ryan tried to drain him financially, he has a billionaire backing him. Steve Sarowitz, co-founder of Wayfarer Studios, is funding Justin's legal battle, ensuring that Blake and Ryan can't just outspend him into silence. Blake and Ryan bet everything on destroying Justin. But now, they're the ones losing everything. For years, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds built their empire on the image of being Hollywood's golden couple. Charming, relatable, untouchable. But behind the polished Instagram posts and carefully curated PR moves, there was a darker reality that no one dared to question. They weren't just building their own success. They were manipulating, controlling, and even sabotaging others to maintain their power. Now, that carefully constructed illusion is falling apart. Justin Baldoni was supposed to be just another casualty, a Hollywood player who got too close to something Ryan and Blake wanted to control. But instead of fading into the background like others before him, Baldoni chose to fight back. Rather than settle quietly or play by the industry's unspoken rules, he is taking this battle straight into the public eye, refusing to be intimidated by Hollywood elites. His lawsuit isn't just about money, it's about exposing how two of the most powerful people in the industry tried to destroy him. At the center of this firestorm is Blake Lively's obsession with control. Insiders say that Blake has a long history of demanding complete authority over the projects she's involved in. She doesn't just want to be the lead actress, she wants to control the script, dictate the direction, and ultimately take over the entire production. That's exactly what happened with It Ends With Us. Initially, she wasn't even supposed to be in the film. But through sheer force and manipulation, she pushed her way into the lead role and immediately began trying to reshape the film in her image. Justin Baldoni, who was both the director and producer, pushed back. He refused to let Blake hijack his vision, which led to instant tension on set. When she couldn't get her way through normal means, she allegedly resorted to manipulation and false accusations to turn the tide in her favor. Instead of accepting her limits as an actress, she tried to rewrite the narrative, painting Baldoni as the villain for standing up to her. The allegations she made against him weren't based in reality. They were a last-ditch attempt to seize control of the film. But the real power move came from Ryan Reynolds. Ryan didn't just support Blake in her efforts to take over the movie, he actively worked behind the scenes to destroy Baldoni's career. Reports indicate that Ryan used his Hollywood influence to meet with top executives and studio heads, pressuring them to blacklist Baldoni. He wasn't content with defending his wife, he wanted total destruction. This wasn't about protecting Blake's career, it was about exerting dominance over Hollywood itself. What Ryan and Blake didn't expect was for Baldoni to fight back with receipts. Unlike others who had fallen victim to Hollywood power plays, Baldoni kept every text, email, and documented exchange. When this case finally made it to court, the evidence spoke for itself. Every single attempt to frame Baldoni as the aggressor was dismantled. The allegations? Baseless. The claims of harassment? Completely fabricated. The power couple's tactics were laid bare. And suddenly, Hollywood wasn't buying their lies anymore. Now, their empire is beginning to crumble. Blake's once glamorous career is in free fall. She thought she could use this lawsuit to position herself as a victim, but instead it's only highlighting her long history of manipulation and entitlement. Her business ventures, once positioned as proof of her mogul status, are flopping hard. Her alcohol brand, launched despite years of her claiming to be a non-drinker, was immediately called out as a hypocritical cash grab. Meanwhile, her hair care line is reportedly being pulled from shelves, with sales tanking due to the backlash. And what about Ryan? He thought he could play puppet master, pulling strings behind the scenes while keeping his funny, relatable guy persona intact. But his Deadpool 3 stunt may be the biggest miscalculation of his career. In his arrogance, Ryan thought it would be hilarious to mock Baldoni in the film. But Disney is not amused. Executives are reportedly furious over how Ryan's personal feud has now become a liability for their biggest franchise. There are even discussions about cutting his scenes or reconsidering his future as Deadpool altogether. Imagine that. Ryan Reynolds risking everything just to take cheap shots at someone who exposed him. He gambled his reputation, his influence, and his most important role, all because he couldn't handle someone standing up to his wife's manipulations. The consequences of that decision are only beginning to unfold. Meanwhile, the public is turning against them faster than they can control. #Justice for Baldoni is trending worldwide. People who once admired Blake and Ryan are seeing them for who they really are. Calculating, power-hungry frauds who built their success on the backs of others. And here's the worst part for them. Justin Baldoni isn't just fighting alone. He has a billionaire backer, Steve Sarowitz, who is ensuring that this case goes all the way. Blake and Ryan can't outspend Baldoni into silence. They can't bury this in legal fees or PR spin. They have to face the truth, and the world is watching. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds thought they were untouchable. They never expected the truth to catch up to them, but now their downfall is inevitable. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds spent years carefully cultivating their perfect Hollywood image, the glamorous power couple, the charming media darlings, the unstoppable industry titans. Their success wasn't just built on their talent, it was carefully orchestrated through strategic PR, calculated media moves, and ruthless industry power plays. But now, their empire is crumbling before their eyes, and the very tactics they once used to dominate the industry are coming back to destroy them. Justin Baldoni's lawsuit didn't just expose their behind-the-scenes manipulations, it completely unraveled the public perception they had spent years crafting. For the first time, Hollywood and the world are seeing the real Blake and Ryan, and what's being revealed is devastating. What started as a private battle over It Ends With Us has now turned into one of the most damaging Hollywood scandals in recent memory, permanently altering the careers of two of the most recognizable faces in the industry. Blake Lively, once seen as an aspirational figure of feminine empowerment and career independence, is now being publicly dragged for her long history of hypocrisy and manipulation. She positioned herself as a champion for women in Hollywood, yet she willingly worked alongside known predators. Her previous partnerships with Harvey Weinstein's PR team and her decision to star in a Woody Allen film long after his accusations were public directly contradict the moral stance she has always pretended to take. Now people are asking the question, was her activism ever genuine, or was it just another calculated move to protect her brand? But what makes her fall from grace even worse is her attempt to weaponize the #MeToo movement against Justin Baldoni. The evidence is clear. She never had a real case against him. There was no harassment, no inappropriate behavior, no mistreatment. Only a man who refused to let her hijack a film she had already bullied her way into starring in. When Blake realized she couldn't control him, she falsely accused him, hoping the backlash would force him out of his own project. It was a calculated and deliberate act of professional sabotage. And now, the entire industry sees it for what it is. But while Blake's career circles the drain, Ryan Reynolds is being exposed as an even bigger manipulator. Ryan has always thrived on his carefully curated public persona, the wisecracking, self-deprecating Deadpool figure, the effortlessly cool guy that everyone loves. But now, it's becoming painfully obvious that this was just a mask. Behind the scenes, Ryan was using his industry power to pull strings, ensuring that Justin Baldoni's career was destroyed before it could threaten his and Blake's Hollywood dominance. The allegations against Ryan are explosive. Reports confirm that he pressured executives to blacklist Baldoni, used his Hollywood clout to sabotage projects Baldoni was attached to, and even pushed media outlets to spin false narratives to paint Baldoni as the villain. These are not the actions of a fun-loving Hollywood actor. These are the moves of a power-obsessed industry player determined to maintain control at all costs. And now that his manipulations have been exposed, the repercussions are already beginning to unfold. One of the biggest backfires for Ryan has been his Deadpool 3 disaster. In a move that now seems incredibly reckless, Ryan reportedly thought it would be funny to mock Baldoni in the film, adding references to the lawsuit as a way to publicly humiliate him. But Ryan failed to anticipate how serious this scandal would become, and now Disney is furious. According to insiders, the studio is reconsidering Ryan's future in the franchise, with some reports even suggesting that his scenes may be cut to avoid further controversy. Imagine that. Ryan Reynolds, the face of one of the most profitable Marvel franchises, risking everything just to take a petty jab at a man who exposed his industry corruption. What should have been a career-defining moment is now turning into a career-ending miscalculation. But the Deadpool fiasco is just the beginning of Ryan and Blake's problems. The brands that once lined up to work with them are now backing away. Corporate partnerships are being reevaluated as companies realize that associating with two actors engulfed in a massive Hollywood scandal is bad for business. Their once loyal fanbase is abandoning them at an unprecedented rate. Justice. For Baldoni continues to dominate social media, with people boycotting their projects, questioning their integrity, and exposing their past manipulations. What was once their greatest strength, their carefully managed public image, is now their biggest liability. And here's the worst part. This isn't going away anytime soon. The trial is set for March 2026, which means that for the next 2 years, every single email, text, and backroom deal they were involved in will be dragged into the public eye. Every attempt at controlling the narrative will fail because they are no longer in control. Ryan and Blake spent years controlling the Hollywood chessboard, ensuring that they were always on top. But now, the pieces have turned against them. And Justin Baldoni, he's winning. Unlike them, Baldoni has nothing to hide. He is not alone in this fight. Thanks to billionaire Steve Sarowitz, Baldoni has the financial backing to take this lawsuit all the way, ensuring that Blake and Ryan can't simply settle this with money and PR spin. He isn't just fighting for his own career, he's fighting to expose how Hollywood's most powerful manipulates, silence, and sabotage. Blake and Ryan thought they were untouchable. They never expected the truth to catch up to them. But now, their downfall is inevitable. This isn't just another Hollywood scandal. This is one of the biggest career implosions the industry has ever seen. And the best part? They did this to themselves. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.